7, you are listening to Sabah al Muslim on Radio Islam International. Many would have seen by now the letter circulating online from the Saudi Embassy in South Africa to Durko confirming that as of Hajj 2026, South Africans will have to transact directly on the Nusuk system and secure services of Saudi entities to perform Hajj. There will be no intermediary, there will be no SAHUC. Subsequently, SAHUC has issued a 6-page press release which is on SAHUC social media and Radio Islam social media, explaining the process in terms of what happened over the last couple of months and their concerns in terms of the system going forward. Joining us on the line now, we have SAHUC President Hafid Moaaz Casoo. Hafid Moaaz, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Malana and listeners of Radio Islam International. I trust all being well.
So, Afisab, I'm going to just summarize up front, right, what's in your press statement so we can get to the core issues. I think in your press statement, you've explained that as per your perspective, you started the process as per the Hajj Ministry's directive, which at that time you had also explained to the public. The Hajj Ministry wanted SAHUC to be a one-stop shop and for any Hajj operator to then operate under the auspices of SAHUC. Subsequently, there was outrage, there was backlash, travel agents were not happy, some within the community were not happy. When you were about to make the payment for the Mina and Arafah camps, after the 2,500 quota was released to SAHUC, you saw that you were no longer allowed to do so on the system. Subsequently, you had to travel to the kingdom. You were told that the Hajj Ministry was not happy because SAHUC's legitimacy was being questioned, and that you learned that there was a meeting between some travel agents and the Saudi ambassador in South Africa, where, according to your statement, those travel agents asked for South Africa to be placed onto the Nusuk system. You subsequently managed to get a letter from the CRL, which was then sent by Durko to the Hajj Ministry in Saudi Arabia, confirming that the South African government recognizes SAHUC. Notwithstanding that, last night we see this letter being circulated online from the Saudi embassy in South Africa to Durko, saying that South Africa will move ahead onto the Nusuk system and that the quota has now been reduced to 1,140. In your statement, you raised concerns that the accreditation system falls away. The first-time Hujjaj is now disadvantaged because anyone can apply. The system will only open a month or two before Hajj, and that it could be more expensive, amongst other concerns. So that's what your statement says in a nutshell. The question many are debating now is that who's the cause of this move from the accreditation-based system to the Nusuk system? You seem to be blaming those who question SAHUC's legitimacy and the travel agents who met the Saudi ambassador. Is that correct?
Well, so you've summed it up fairly well based on our press release statement. We can only work with what we've been told. When we visited the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they asked us what are the concerns, what is all this noise happening in South Africa. People are questioning your legitimacy. Are you a recognized body? Can we get confirmation from your government? What is going on in South Africa? And we explained to them exactly what is transpiring in the country. We explained to them we have not received a letter from our government stating otherwise. We will get back to South Africa. We will get the confirmation letter from the CRL Rights Commission. We will channel it through diplomatic channels. And then they mentioned to us that they've received complaints from the embassies, not just from the travel operators. So obviously it boils down to the meeting that took place between the South African travel operators. There were 7 of them. They went to the Saudi ambassador, they complained, they raised their grievances, and they also promoted the Nusuk Hajj platform. And this is where everything got started in terms of putting everything on hold, because up to us receiving the quota and we were about to pay for the camps in Mina and Arafat, everything was going fine until the meeting. And if you look at the date, it sort of coincides with exactly after the meeting that took place between the operators and the Saudi ambassador.
So there are those claiming that as per SAHUC's previous minutes of meetings that you've negotiated a split quota. So whilst the South African Muslim community is shocked that the quota has been dropped from 2,500 to 1,140, there are those accusing SAHUC of not revealing the full truth, that the remaining of the quota will still come to SAHUC for those on the accreditation list. Is there any truth to that?
Well, now we don't have any communication. The communication that was received last night, if you look at it, it's from the Saudi embassy direct to Derco. It was shared by some people on social media. Our press release states the exact same thing. To date, we have not received any official communication, so it's difficult for us to say anything about the quota. We can only work with what we are reading from the Saudi embassy's letter to Derco, and they also relate to the reason why the quota is now 1,140 per refuge.
So let's get to the key question now. South African Hujjaj have to go through the Nusuk system and basically secure the Hajj in that way. What happens to SAHUC now? Because you've got no role to play. What happens to the assets that you have, to the money that you've got, to claims of refunds for Hujjaj that have to go this year, this coming year 2026, and also for Hujjaj who have already paid the fees that they needed to pay to secure their spot on your system. Some claim there's a backlog of about 50,000 Hujjaj still on your system. What's going to happen now?
Over the next few days and weeks, we will be having relevant board meetings, general council meetings. In those meetings, we will deliberate and discuss the way forward for SAHUC. We will discuss the refund process in terms of the registration fee, which pilgrims have paid, keeping in mind when you're looking at 50,000 pilgrims, some people have registered 10 years ago. They would have paid maybe, for example, 100 rand. As it came closer, some paid 200, some paid 250, some paid 300 rand. So we will need to reconcile all that information, come up with a total value, and then put out a press release with regards to the process that will unfold in terms of any refund that needs to be processed to the pilgrims. Bearing in mind that could take a while, because if we look at the refund process for the 15 million that we paid back to the pilgrims 2 years ago, it took us 9 months to refund the pilgrims. So we're not too sure how long it will take, but we will have to make the necessary announcements after the General Council and the board agrees to the way forward, inshallah.
There are those who say that this is SAHUC's fault, that had you not pushed for that system that totally marginalized the travel operators, there wouldn't have been a backlash. And had there not been a backlash, the Hajj Ministry would not have moved us to the Nusuk system.
And if we have faulted in any way, we ask for forgiveness. We ask Allah to forgive us in whichever way possible. But one needs to understand, immediately after Hajj, we received the new rules and regulations from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Like every other country, we received those rules. We've provided visual copies for people to view in terms of ulama bodies, in terms of travel fraternity, those who wanted to see it. It is there in black and white. It is not something that SAHUC make rules with regards to Hajj and Umrah. These rules come from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. We are merely the facilitator to pass that information down. It is when it is not accepted that we hear all this uproar in the public domain. And it's unfortunate, but we ask the people, if we have hurt you, those who feel that it's SAHUC's fault, please forgive us. It's not our intention. We are merely a facilitator of rules and regulations from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
All right, Hafiz Moaaz, shukran so much for your time. I understand you are on the road. It's an inconvenient time for you to speak, but shukran for that comment. And we will definitely touch base with you again as further details may be required for the public.
Jazakallah. It's always a pleasure, and we look forward to speaking to the listeners of Radio Islam, inshallah, going forward. Shukran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I'm just waiting for Brother Muhammad Mia from